I'm about as real as they come.
All my beats tailored by Joe. House Digital.
Maserati Rick in Detroit, convertible bird in Miami. Graduated summa cum laude. Strip club made a tsunami. Carlton Hines with the ball game. Grateful Edmonds with the snowflakes. Craig Pettis in the M-Town. Sal Magluta with the boat game. Falcone with the cocaine. Like Freeway Ricky with the plug game. Like Monster Cody in South Central. Larry Davis from close range.
What makes a great city? Well, having a famous street known the world over helps. So does a historic mountain made of solid granite. And it doesn't hurt to be the birthplace of the world's premier soft drink. But it might just come down to finding the ultimate hot dog at the world's largest drive-in. Some folks say attaining greatness is simply a matter of having the right connections. In Atlanta, Hartsfield International transports an average of 46 million people a year and is hailed as the largest and second busiest terminal in the world. Or a state-of-the-art rapid rail system designed and manufactured in France that takes you through and around the city. A modern expressway that serves as the major junction of the South, connecting 3 interstate highway systems. Still, there are those who insist that the pulse of a great city can be measured only by how high you can go. Well, Atlanta has its share of original architecture on a grand scale.
Robbery, prostitution, killing.
Poverty, the shootings, the drug abuse.
2 guys got in a fight right across in front of my house. I saw one peep his head around the corner. Pow! 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 It was just like you was in a movie, Western movie.
Eva Davis moved into Atlanta's East Lake Meadows housing project in 1971. It wasn't long before murder and mayhem became a way of life.
He ran right by my car and blood was just shooting out of his body. That guy shot him and he fell dead right before my face.
The 650-unit housing project was never great, but when drugs took over and gangs claimed turf, it went from bad to horrible in a hurry.
They would shoot and cut and stab and kill each other. That's what they did.
By 1995, the crime rate was 18 times the national average.
I would never go into East Lake Meadows alone.
Shirley Franklin, now Atlanta's mayor, remembers the old East Lake well. How bad was it?
Well, the statistics suggested it was just awful, that it was completely dysfunctional community.
And then, in the early 90s, seemingly from out of nowhere, came an unlikely savior.
Where do we stand on that?
An Atlanta philanthropist named Tom Cousins, a developer from the other side of town, worth more than $300 million.
Do you have any idea how much money you have given away over your lifetime?
No, sir. I don't. I don't keep track of it.
But I bet your company knows how many square feet you've built.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we know that.
Cousins is a soft-spoken, self-effacing Atlanta business legend whose skyscrapers dot the downtown skyline. He brought pro basketball and hockey to town, and he built the tallest building in the U.S. outside New York and Chicago. But the broken-down housing project in East Lake Meadows was like nothing he'd ever encountered.
It's almost beyond description. Trash everywhere, windows broken out of the apartments. Crime was rampant. No attempt to hide the drug dealing and drug selling on the streets.
Cousins' interest in East Lake began when he read a 1993 article that described how 70% of New York State prisoners came from just 8 neighborhoods. Atlanta's police chief told him there were even fewer Georgia neighborhoods mass-producing criminals. The worst by far, East Lake Meadows.
I drove out there. I could not believe it. Hundreds of kids out on the streets. They had nothing to say about where they were born. They were born there. And I thought myself, had I been born there, I'd probably be one of those people in jail if they could have caught me.
The employment rate at the housing project, not the unemployment rate, was just 14%. Cousins and his wife Ann decided their family had to dive in. He created the East Lake Foundation and began to woo housing project residents like Eva Davis, the famously strong-willed head of the Residents Association.
I was kind of nervous. Here this big rich man with all this money, and he willing to come over here messing with us, and ain't nobody else been wanting to be bothered with us.
Well, I was like a lot of other people. I thought he was crazy.
Shirley Franklin, long before she was mayor, was part of Tom Cousins' East Lake team.
I thought he was overreaching, but he was taking on something that, frankly, the rest of us felt helpless to do.
I honestly didn't know whether this would work or not. I honestly didn't, but I knew we were going to try.
When a faltering golf club bordering the housing project came up for sale, Cousins and his family put up $25 million and used the club as the cornerstone of one of the most audacious redevelopment plans ever conceived. The urban nightmare that was the East Lake Meadows housing project was literally just a chip shot away from the 4th hole here at East Lake Golf Club. Founded in 1904, this historic, very private club had itself fallen into disrepair from neglect and was on the brink of bankruptcy. Incredibly then, when a plan was developed to transform the housing project, golf, traditionally exclusive, traditionally white, became the driving force to help turn around the neighborhood. It was golf, of all things, privileged, pristine, genteel golf, that helped save East Lake. It brought public attention, commerce, jobs. This was East Lake 10 years ago, and this is East Lake today. Torn down, rebuilt, utterly transformed. Clean, safe, family-friendly. This was a pretty hellish place.
Pretty?
And now?
It's heaven.
Yo, we back. It's your boy Popalot. MOBB ties. We on our way to Georgia with it. Atlanta to be exact. Old East Lake Meadows to be more exact. All my niggas that was around for old Atlanta, y'all niggas get in the comment box, let it be known, real fucking G shit. Now, the dudes that we gonna cover today, some might say they were the first big gang in Atlanta. I know we went ahead and we covered the I Refuse Posse. They did their thing, and we went ahead and we covered 30 Deep. They were going to be more recent. This gang we covering today is going to be a gang by the name of Down by Law. They pretty much, I want to say they got established in 1979, like 1981. But shit really hit the fan for them niggas in 1986.
They're going to say the gang was headed by a guy named Peanut. Actually, his full name was Timothy Antoine Peanut Harris. And he was alleged to be the gang's leader. He was sent to prison for life for the murder of a member of a rival gang, the 5% Nations. Now, during this time, I'm going to say that I said that they were the first gangs. Now, some of the gangs that were mentioned with them at this time are going to be the 5% Nations, the Valley Boys, the Shy-Lights, Awesome Six, Ladies by Law, and the Bad Girls. So, pretty much those were the gangs that were operating in and around that time, doing their thing. Now, they looked like they was causing a bunch of drama through Atlanta from what I uncovered, from what I found out, I should say. It looks like the gang originated, like I said, right around 1979 to 1981 in an effort to combat a series of child murders that was going on in Atlanta around that time. Now, anybody that's familiar with, like I said, old Atlanta, they might remember a guy by the name of Wayne Williams. Now, Wayne Williams is going to be a guy that was convicted for murdering kids. It was like that shit was like national news. It was like a big outbreak. Yeah, y'all niggas from old Atlanta, y'all niggas get in the comment box and let niggas know about that shit for real. Especially if y'all lived through that shit, if y'all was kids in the area at that time. So pretty much, and I seen shit on TV where they was like, well, maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was the Ku Klux Klan. So yeah, if y'all never heard of that shit, research the Atlanta child murders. That shit'll fuck y'all up for real. But they gonna say the gang started in the effort to combat that epidemic that was going on around that time, and it pretty much just got out of hand. They said the average age or membership from the gang was 16 to 25. Average active member was 20 to 25. So if y'all was anywhere, if y'all know anything about old Eastlake Meadows, and for a lot of y'all that don't know, Atlanta was the first city in the United States to get rid of to not even have housing or public housing. So that shit is like almost gentrified living for real. It's all mixed and blended up. But anybody that was around for old Eastlake Meadows, y'all niggas get in the comment box, man. He said that shit was possibly the realest projects in Atlanta. I heard some niggas say Techwood. I heard Bowen Homes. I heard just a bunch of different shit. That's another thing, y'all niggas from Atlanta. Y'all niggas get in the comment box, and especially if y'all was around, tell us a little bit about that. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, Twitter. It's your boy Popalot, POP_A_LOT. Y'all hit the bell if y'all want to know when this real shit is dropping. Make sure y'all subscribe. Mob ties.